Hello and welcome to Concept to Content to Copy. In some ways, I almost feel like I should just call this a storyteller course, but we'll determine that as we go. So what are we starting out with? Well, we're starting out with how to turn a concept, an idea, into the content or book that you're desiring to write. Well, how do you do that? You have to first figure out your voice. My voice. You need to know how you tell your story. How do you inflect your voice? What it is that when you're writing a story. I've seen not everybody can write a story. Not everybody can write a book. Not everyone has the ability to be an author. Do you? If you don't have the initial ability to write a story, meaning you don't have the ability to weave the details necessary in order to write a good piece of work, you have to be able to do that. In my previous video, I talked about I would watch or read fiction stories, and some of the people, when they created their fiction stories, and granted everybody used to write these fiction stories, it would be people of all ages. Some of them just didn't have the educational maturity level to write the conceptual stories that they were thinking about writing. Others, they had the content down that they would pull you in so deep that you literally had to shake yourself out of the story to realize, whoa, I was just pulled in so deep to this story and the details were so intense that I felt I was in it, fully submerged. Like I was not in the environment. I was actually in, because I was so pulled in that I could see, hear, darn near taste everything in what it was that I was reading. And some people, they wrote like a 2-year-old wrote a letter to their mommy. And I don't mean that as something wrong. I mean that as some of them were like 7 and 10 years old that were writing these stories, and technically on the sites that I was on, they actually shouldn't have been there. Because of the rating content of the show or concept that they were putting their writing into. So there was that issue. But it gave me a scale. When you're writing, you have to be able to have a basic understanding of what it is to write. And I don't mean just nouns, verbs, adjectives, action words, so on and so forth. I'm talking about having the ability to discern the detail. Anybody can write a piece that is 1 page long, that has no detail in it, it just runs through the entire concept, meaning it's a good point of reference to determine what you want your story to be about. If it's a paragraph, if it's a page. But if you're going to write a book, a novel, an ebook, something that has some substance, anywhere from 25 pages to 65 pages to 100 pages, 150 pages, or the length of some books, which is 200, 218, 250 page book, you have to have depth to what it is that you are writing. You have to be able to hone your voice to be able to go into what it is that you're writing and create the ebbs and flows. Now, depending on what it is you're writing, are you writing nonfiction? Are you writing fiction? Are you writing dialogue-based type writing? Not just screenplays, because screenplays do have writing in it, but are you writing a lot of content that is heavily narrated by the characters that are within what it is that you're writing about? Are you writing from a place of this is the direction that I'm taking my writing? I'm trying to write a piece that is very story told, meaning I have characters and each person has dialogue. Now you can do this and you can do it as an overview, or you can do it as a first person, you can do it in second person, you can do it in third person point of view, and these are all concepts that you can do. You can do it as a overview, which is like that third person, you're not really in the story narrative thing. You can do it in first person where you're in the direct footprints of the character that is speaking. You can do it in second person where you're just outside of that person. Or you can be, like I said, nonfiction, meaning you're doing it more as a overview. It's content outlined that creates a viewpoint of what the person is informatively talking about. Am I giving you information? Am I giving you something that helps you informatively come to a decision on something? Am I doing it as a paper? Am I turning a paper concept into an actual full-length book? Am I doing chapters? Am I doing segments? Am I doing sections? What am I doing with the way that I want to write this? This is the beginnings of what it is that your concept is going to be, because you're determining how you want to write it and what your length is. Now, in your brainstorming process, you need to figure out, once you've figured out exactly what you want to start writing about, meaning in the type of writing, nonfiction, fiction, first person, second person, so on and so forth, what is the story? What's your concept? What are you writing about? Where are you coming from to start that writing process? I'm going to actually help you out a million times, because I'm going to use an application that I found out from a music person that I follow on YouTube. And this application right here is called Milestone. Milestone. This, I can create a board just like this. Click, drag, open the board, and you see these on the side, just like that. If you have the application, it'll give you support systems things. But the most important thing is, you see where I have my finger pointer? Story outline. This gives you a literal story outline. Watch. You have an outline to outline an entire story, whichever way, and it guides you through the process of writing your story. If you're writing a novel, this actually shows you how to plan out the novel that you're writing. Then, if you're trying to create a concept that deals with characters, you can create a character profile. Catch this. If you want to create a worldly concept, like let's say your story has its own world, this is a planner that you can use to create the world of the story. Deep, is it not? Beautiful. Love it. But it all starts with the concept. What are you doing? Where is it that you want to start what it is that you're writing? This is like a place that you can brainstorm, but you can create concepts and content and link them to each other to literally create a story map to let you know where it is that you're writing from. That way you don't even get lost in the concept of what it is. And depending on what you're doing, you can build it out from that point. At the end of the day, the best thing to do is start to write. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be in it in a way that, oh, I can't start because I don't know. I've given you so many easy ways to do this. And remember, milestone is the actual, let's see if I can find there it is. Milanote. Milanoto. Wait, Milanote is what it is. Milanote. You can take this board and develop it in any way. Just go through, figure out how to plan and plot out whatever story it is that you are trying to create. And make sure that it's an authentic story. You can base it off of yourself. You can base it off of people you know. You can base it off of, let's temporarily take a moment and think about this. Basing characters off of people that you know. Who did this the best? Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry created an entire set of films that we all know and love to this day and made a multi-billion-dollar corporation on just his conceptual ideas for movies and television. Look at all these movies. Who doesn't know these movies? If you didn't even watch the movies, I'm guaranteeing you've heard of all of them, though. All of the movies, all of the TV shows. You heard of everything this man has done. And he's a multi-billion-dollar corporate entity. And he did it by just writing his own scripts, screenplays, books, and TV shows. Find your starting point of the concept that you want to create. Know what that is and build. Build from there. Because once you have come to a place that you know where to start, you can build. Next, don't take the building process so seriously that you second guess yourself. You don't want to second guess yourself. You want to just creatively write. A lot of people, and you hear this from every person that has ever written anything, I got writer's block. I heard a business person say this years ago. Writer's block does not exist. It's the fact that you are mentally blocking yourself from being able to just write what you have. Sit down and start writing. What does that mean? Dump what's in your head. I don't care what it is. If you want to just write bird, then bird is going to be your starter point. Dog, cat, tree. And keep on writing. Whatever it is that you hear in that moment, just write it down. Don't care. You realize that you could write an entire story about a bird, a dog, a cat, and a tree. Start somewhere. Just get yourself used to writing something. Because it's about the concept of painting the story. You got a bird, a dog, a cat, and a tree. What is a bird, dog, cat, and a tree doing? And yes, the tree can be doing something depending on what kind of story you're writing. I remember years ago there were stories about children's stories, and they would have like these animated trees, and the tree would be moving around its arms and its branches and all of these types of things, and the way that they painted the picture, it just created a artistic element, not only with words but pictures and art that created that concept. What are you writing about? You can write about anything and create something that people would be interested in, that would create some form of development. Well, that ends this segment of the course, and we'll be back in part 2, which will be my next favorite part. See you next.